Well, good morning, Business 10 students. This is week number 5 in our Introduction to Business class here at Norco College. And this week we're going to be looking at Chapter 4, which is Forms of Business Ownership. And this is basically where we're going to consider what are the different ways in which you are seen by the government. So either you're seen as a sole proprietor, as a partnership, as a LLC, or even as a corporation. And there's different kinds of corporations. There's S corps and B corps, things like that. So you're going to be learning about how these different forms of business ownership are structured. And it really kind of boils down to just a couple of things that are most critical. Like, for instance, who owns the business, who actually operates the business. Secondly, who pays taxes and how are those taxes paid? Who gets to keep the money? Where does the money go? That's the profits. And then the big one is liability. Who's liable at the end of the day if you are sued? Who do they come after? Do they come after you, or do they come after the corporation? And so the different forms of business ownership either give you a benefit in one or more of those areas, depending on what your goals are as a business. And so we're going to be considering all four of those. That's the content of chapter 4. Most students really enjoy this topic. It's very interesting, and it's also very important for you to understand and know. So make sure you read the chapter thoroughly and that you do the assignments as are presented. I'm going to share our class here in Canvas, and I'm going to scroll down. And this week we are in still module number 2, actually starting module number 2. So I'm going to select that, and that should bring us to the modules page. There we go. So we're picking up right here in module number 2, which is week number 5. And so here you have the chapter, so make sure you read that chapter thoroughly. Then you have a check-in assignment on chapter 4, which is basically questions, as you know. Again, make sure that you're including the question, the complete question, and the page number. And if you have had trouble doing the page number, it's going to be found on the PDF version of the book. If you select any of the links that bring you to the textbook, it's going to bring you to a web page that says at the top either table of contents, read online, or download PDF. You want to download the PDF, and that's where you're going to find the page numbers. So make sure you download that. Then you have a homework assignment on forms of business ownership. So you're going to be comparing or selecting, should I say, one of those different 4 or 5 types of businesses. And then you're going to talk about what are the pros and cons. Why is that good? Why is that bad? And then you're going to go a little bit deeper and you're going to do a little research and see if you can find other businesses or some businesses out there that use that form of business ownership, etc. So follow the worksheet that's provided and then use the worksheet to answer the drop-down menus on the quiz. It's kind of like a quiz, but it's a homework assignment. Then you have a discussion post. So week number 5 discussion. There's 2 of them here because I have 2 sections of the Business 10 that are sharing this shell. So you'll only see one, but it'll be '07 or '08. And this is the second discussion post assignment that we're going to do for the course. So this is where you're looking at intrinsic versus extrinsic motivators, and we'll be covering that topic in a few weeks from one of our chapters. But the discussion post is built around this TED Talk by Dan Pink, where he talks about extrinsic versus intrinsic motivators and how extrinsic motivators, things like money and rewards, are great for motivating you for certain tasks, but in the overall picture, intrinsic, or those from inside of us that motivate us, are much more lasting and much more motivating at the end of the day. So he gives some really great research on this. And so watch the TED Talk, answer the questions, view and comment on other student posts, and that's how you get a good score on the discussion post assignment. So that's pretty much it. Check-in assignment, homework assignment, a quiz. I missed that. There's a quiz in there. And then you have your discussion posts. So you have 4 assignments to do this week. All of them shouldn't take you more than 10, 15 minutes each to accomplish. On the discussion post, you just need to make your initial post, watch the video, make your initial post, and then you have a few weeks to comment and view and comment on other students. So you have a little bit of time on that. So, all right, well, have a great week, everyone. If you need to get a hold of me, don't hesitate to reach out during my office hours. My office hours are going to change. I'm no longer going to be around on Monday. Instead, I'm going to be available on Tuesday afternoon on campus, Wednesday morning on campus, and then Thursday afternoon in Zoom. So if any of those times work, please reach out to me. If not, you can set a time up with me by using the booking link, which is also on the office hours page, and you can set up a time that works best for you. Have a great week. You'll see me next week again on video.